Hey, horror fans, once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. It's time to review the, I guess you can see, first season of the Amazon Prime horror TV show, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yes. Now, I Know What You Did Last Summer is a 2020 American horror TV show. It was created by Sarah Goodman and is based upon the 1990 film and 1973 novel of the same name. Now, this one, the show stars Madison Eastman, Brianna Teege, I think I pronounced her last name right, Ezekiel Goodman, Ashley Moore, and Sebastian Amoroso. Now, in this one, a group of teenagers are stalked by a mysterious killer a year after a fatal accident on their graduation night. Yes, it's the same thing that we saw in the 1997 movie. Now, when I heard that a remake for the 1997 Scream clone, I Know What You Did Last Summer, was being made, I wasn't really surprised at all. And when I heard this was going to be a TV show instead of a movie, I wasn't that surprised neither. I guess that Mandalay, who produced the 97 film, didn't want to take a chance on filming a remake and decided to make a TV show instead. A lot of people are still hurting from the pandemic. Certain movies they feel this still is not going to generate the type of box office that they're going to generate. So they say, you know what, we'll make it. We'll put it on streaming services, and that's what they did. They decided to make this show. I think it's 8 episodes, and you put it on Amazon Prime. So they hired TV writer-producer Sarah Goodman, who's worked on TV shows Preacher and Gossip Girl, to create this new version of Lois's Dukin 97.3 novel. Now, there's really no difference between the 97 film and the 73 novel. The story is basically the same as is the film. A group of teens, while celebrating their graduation, get into an accident that results in a person dying. Instead of calling the police, they cover it up, and a year later, they start receiving a message that says, I know what you did last summer, and they all start getting killed by an unknown assailant. Now, while it does follow that simple story, I must say I was impressed what Sarah and her team was able to put together in this 8-episode, I'm assuming, first season. And this plays more like a horror thriller whodunit than the 97 slasher film. Yeah, this is not a slasher film, to say the least. They don't have really slasher tropes. We still have a bunch of nice, cute-looking, I guess you could say nice and cute-looking young people in this particular film, but they don't have the typical, stereotypical slasher tropes that we've seen before in films like this. Now, in the first episode, we're introduced to Lennon. Who is coming back to the island Oahu in Hawaii after a year in college. Now, after settling in, we get a flashback regarding a graduation party that happened last year. We're introduced to Lennon and her friends. Now, we have Margot. She's an Instagram influencer. Dylan, the drug dealer Riley, and Johnny, Margot's gay best friend. We also found that Lennon has a sister, Allison, who is also a twin as well. So we have the twin sisters. We have Margot, Johnny, Dylan, and Riley. Those are the group of friends in this particular setting. Now, as far as Allison and Lennon are concerned, they don't get along because Lennon, who's selfish, popular, and has sex with Dylan, who Allison loves. I mean, you can see that's just terrible. Now, events take place throughout the first episode, which I'm not going to get into because this is going to be some of the spoiler-free review here. It doesn't take long for the accident to happen, and the gang realizes that they actually hit and killed Allison. Oh no, not again. They all freak out what happened, and no one wants to go to jail because mainly Riley has drugs on her. They decide to cover up the accident and make believe that Allison ran away. Basically what they do, they take her to the shoreline, put her into the side of a cave, wait for the tide to come up, and they all go away and they say, look, Allison ran away because she really doesn't have any friends, not many people liked her, and that's all that's going to happen. Now, one good thing I did like Sarah does in the first twist, we see that it was Lennon, not Allison, who was killed in the accident. By the time we get to the flashbacks, and by the time we actually will see what we believe is Lennon walking in the throw, her father, Bruce, calls her Allison. She turns around, and then we found out that it was Lennon who was killed in the accident, not Allison. But instead of going to the police, Allison, with her father Bruce, decided that she should be Lennon now. Now, how's that for a plot twist? So basically, the whole rest of the episode and for the whole series, We have people thinking that Allison's died, but she didn't die. It was Lennon who died, and Allison is now being Lennon. So the episode ends with Lennon, which is Allison, finding a severed goat's head in her closet and the words, "I know what you did last summer," written on her mirror. So that's basically how the first episode begins, and that's basically how the rest of the season or episodes that we see happening to her group of friends. And obviously people die, and we see some more people die, and we have a mystery aspect as far as who's the killer. Who's going to find out about Allison's secret? Are they really going to find out that it's not Lennon, that it's Allison, and Lennon was the one who died? That's basically what we have here. We see a lot of secrets are going to be revealed in this one, and we get some more plot twists along the way too. Now, one of the things I find interesting in this one, yes, we do see people die, but Sarah has to kill other people other than Lennon, or I should say Allison's group. Yeah, everyone is fair game in this one. That means no one is safe. It seems like everyone has secrets, and also makes it possible for anyone to be the killer. The way this is set up is that not only do we have the group of friends, but we also have other aspects. There's a secret between Allison's father, Bruce. He has the secrets going on. There's this cult thing that's in the background too. We have some people that could be part of the cult. There's a strange woman called Clara that we see. I think she comes into the second or third episode. She has some background with Bruce. And then, of course, we have other secrets going along right there. And I really like what Sarah did in that instance right there, and doing this because anyone could be the killer. Now, as the series continues, we continue to see flashbacks of the graduation party, and more of Lennon and Allison's relationship is revealed. We see that both twins were affected by the mother's suicide, causing a huge rift with their father. I mean, I think it's more of a Lennon really didn't like her father. There's a part, I believe it happened maybe in the 6th episode, where we find another revelation is revealed. And we see that's one of the reasons why Lennon took off. We also get to explore their friends during these flashbacks on that fateful night. As we see, Raleigh has a thing for Dylan. Margot's in love with Lennon, and Lennon plays on Allison's love for Dylan for her own selfish needs. I mean, these people are terrible, and they call themselves friends. I hate to see what they happen to do with their enemies. I mean, let's be honest here. There are no good characters here at all, because they all have flaws. When you're watching this series, you don't know who to root for. Should we root for this guy? Should we root for her? Should we root for Johnny? They all have flaws. They're all terrible people right there. And these people really, truly, in a sick, I guess you could say in a kind of a sick way, they truly do love each other, but good grief, they're still all terrible. I give credit for Sarah and her writing team. They do a good job making the audience believe that person could be the killer, but then a twist happens and it could be somebody else. Everybody has a reason to want to do the killings, but then, okay, we think it's that person, but no, it can't be that person because he was with them. It could be this person, but no, that person. There's no true setup here. And, once that's good writing and that's good storytelling, in my opinion. Now, as far as the acting goes, Madison Iseman, she was from Annabelle Comes Home and the Jumanji films. She's okay in playing the twins, Lennon and Allison. She does a good job of displaying how different the twins are, with Lennon being the selfish, sexy party girl with no regards to what action whatsoever. I mean, when she decides to sleep with Dylan, she's just doing it for her own selfish needs and just to prove a point that Allison saying that Allison should go ahead and sleep with Dylan, but she's so scared that what might do. So she says, you know what? I'm just going to screw him anyway, just because you won't do it. I mean, the girl is terrible. She does a good job of Allison, who's the boring, weird, and withdrawn girl who still needs to be grieving by her mother's death. Now, Brianna, too, Ezekiel Goodman, and Ashley Moore play their roles well, and they all have good chemistry between all of them, and we do believe they love each other despite the secrets they're keeping from each other. I mean, there's such stuff we see about Brianna. Not Brianna. We'll find out some stuff going on with Riley. She has a poor background because we see how bad her mother is. We see Margot's background. Her mother is the main force behind being her Instagram influencer. And we see Dylan's got a hippie mother, crazy mother. He has some issues of its own. It seems like he feels guilty because he doesn't know should he see it with Allison or should he see it with Riley. But he seems to be, if anyone is might be a good person in this one, it's Dylan. But he has his own problems. Now, the kills are your standard kills that we've seen in other horror films, but they're quite effective in bringing out the danger that the group is in and trying to figure out who knows their secrets. They really do a good job in trying to find out who knows what happened. Who knows what happened? There is similar stuff that we've seen in the movie that happens in here. I won't say what it is, but I'm pretty sure if you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about because there's something that happens after the accident and something similar that happened in the movie. So they do keep that standard up. But as far as the overall tone and the character aspects, they're totally different. Like I said before, this plays more of a thriller mystery as opposed to your standard slasher film. Now, I find it quite surprising when we do find out who the killer is in the final episode because I really didn't expect that person, but it does make sense story-wise. Once that person is revealed and we do get their motivation is the reason why they did what they did, it does make sense. Yes, I didn't expect it when the killer was revealed in the final episode because it doesn't take until I see towards the third act of the final episode before we find out who the killer is. But I will give them credit. And again, this isn't your typical slasher TV show. This wasn't like Scream or Scream the TV show because I have to give credit for Sarah because she doesn't bog the audience down with teen angst that we've seen maybe in the Scream TV show or maybe some other TV shows like on the CW that features a young and attractive cast like this one. The one problem I did have with this particular show is that the adults in this one don't look like they're old enough to have teenagers or grown or might as well say 19 to 20-year-old. They look just as beautiful and young as the actors playing their kids. They look too young to be having a 17 or 18 or 19-year-old kids. It's just, if you're going to cast it, then you want them at least look old enough that they should have a kid that age. They look just as great as the young people do. It's like, come on, guys, you could do better than that. Well, this might not appeal to all horror fans or slasher fans, and Sarah doesn't bring anything new or different to this genre, but I will give her credit for using a similar plot device that we've seen before in horror films and giving us a mystery thriller film instead of the same cliche tropes that we've seen before in horror films or horror TV shows. So, was this a great show? No, it wasn't a great show. It wasn't outstanding, but I did enjoy what Sarah Goodman tried to do here. She took a reasonable, easy plot that we've seen before. It did something different with it, not repeating some of the stuff that we've seen before. This is not Scream. This is not a typical Scream. It's not even a Scream clone because, like I said, we don't have an actual slasher here. Just like we see in Urban Legends or any other the Scream clones, even Halloween H2O. This is something totally different. Like I said, the acting was decent. What you expect, nothing outstanding. It was pretty good. Like I said, this is not every horror fan's not gonna like it because they're looking to see something similar and they're gonna get this, and they're probably gonna say I hated it or I didn't like any of the characters. The acting was so. But as far as I'm concerned, like I said, it's not bad. I thought it was good. So if I'm going to rank this, I'm going to give it 3 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. Like I said, it was good. It's serviceable. Not great. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a limited series. It's going to be a season 2. Some people, from what I've read, some people said this is a season 1. I really can't see what more can they do with this show. Now, it does end on a cliffhanger. That's the best I'm going to say about it. I don't know what more you can do with any of these characters after what happened at the end of the season 8. If they do a second season, let's have different characters in a different setting. That's all I have to say about it. So there you have it. That is my review of the first season or final season of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, and share. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put new videos such as this one. Also, you have seen I Know What You Did Last Summer. Please, in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about it. So leave your comment in the comment section as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember that horror rule. I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.